Hello everyone, I'm Izzy Wells and welcome to Hot Stuff, where we discuss current hot topics that we think deserve your attention. From social issues to popular culture, we'll be keeping you updated on relevant and unique Taiwan-related content every Tuesday. From Taipei food guides to night out itineraries, our guests today have all your Taiwan needs met with their travel, lifestyle and fashion-related Taiwan content. Chances are you've probably come across it when scrolling on Instagram and TikTok. I'm very excited to be joined by Suzy and Austin today to talk about their journey pursuing content creation and to hear their top finds and tips for Taiwan. Welcome to Hot Stuff, Suzy and Austin.
Hi guys.
Hello, thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here.
We're so excited.
Yeah, it's our first time on a podcast, so
And
very
I'm very excited that it's your first with me. So currently you're both based in Taiwan and you're pursuing content creation full time. Now let's first chat about how you both ended up here in Taiwan and your ties to this place.
Sure.
I mean,
Suzy, you start. How did you end up in Taiwan?
I'll start. So, as you may know, I'm half French, half Taiwanese, and I've basically been coming to Taiwan ever since I'm born. So I would come like every year to visit my family, and especially after my 8-9 years old, I would spend my summer vacations here. That's how I got to speak Chinese. So thanks, mom and dad. But yeah, that's basically how I would come to Taiwan every year.
So you still have like family here?
Yeah, I still have my entire family from my mom's side.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. And Austin, what about you?
Pretty much the same thing. Both of my parents are Taiwanese, and I would grow up coming back every couple of years as well. So, and just to visit relatives as well.
Yeah. And what were your kind of, I guess, memories like of Taiwan growing up? Having, I guess, coming here for summers and things.
Man, I think, to be honest, like when I was younger, I didn't really enjoy coming back.
Yeah, because that's what I've heard from the people. It's we have to, go halfway across the world and you just want to be where you are for the summer or whatever. But
Exactly. So like when I was younger, I remember the first time I came here, I just remember it being super hot.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was just like going around places and, all my friends are back at home and stuff like that. So it's like, it was different. It wasn't until I got a bit older, maybe I would say like, I don't know, when I reached my 20s, it was like, oh, okay, Taiwan is a lot of fun. And it was like, I started to enjoy it a lot more. And I started wanting to come back every so often, yeah.
I'm sorry, I have to say that it's not really the same for me. No, but it's different because I have a big family here in Taiwan, so I would be very excited to come back actually and like see my grandmother, grandfather, and like all my cousins here. It would be the only time in the year that I would be able to see them. So I get what you mean though, because all your friends will be spending their summer holidays together, like for me in France, and they will always be like, oh, let's go there together a week. And I'm like, oh, I'm not there, I'm gonna be in Taiwan. So I get it, like I wouldn't miss that part too, but at the same time I would be like very excited to come back here. But that's true that it would be like crazy hot.
Yeah. I still struggle with like the summers. And they go on forever.
It's tough.
And you guys have a very cute story of how you met. So you met in Taiwan.
Yes.
Tell me about the story, how you met.
So we were studying Chinese last year. Both of us were in Taiwan. We were at NTNU at Sida, and we were in the same class.
Yep.
And so we met there, and it was a lot of fun because we had a good group. Our class, we would kind of like hang out all the time.
Almost every day.
Yeah. So we would get lunch together. We would get dinner together. We would go to the night markets. We would, do all sorts of things together. And then, so we were spending a lot of time together, and then I think just gradually,
we'll build a connection.
Yeah, we got closer, and we actually started jogging together.
Yeah, I think it started with jogging, just the two of us, because the other one would be just lazy, and then we would start to hang out more.
That's impressive. I feel like I would not go jogging with someone I fancied.
That's very true. I would be like sweating. I would be, oh no. That's the worst decision.
No, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then
who made the first move?
Who made the first move? Do you want to say?
Tell the truth, it's fine.
I mean, Suzy was very persistent.
You're unbelievable.
But I would say Suzy made the first move.
Yeah.
Now you know all our secrets.
Yes.
Jeez.
And now here we are.
Right, yeah. Is it funny to think about, I guess when the first impression, the first time you met, to think now what you guys are?
For sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially like considering the long distance, like her being from France, me being from New York, and then, not knowing when, how things would work out. Like,
but also we would have, different culture for sure. Like, I'm from France. I'm not arrogant. I have to say, it's a prejudice. We say in French, but no. We would have different culture, but at the same time, we would have very similar belief and values. So,
has there been any, I guess, clashes then in terms of America? Brits and French people famously don't get on, or like we have clashes, right? I think that's just like history and whatever.
Yeah.
Have we had like cultural thing? I can't really recall.
Except from you not liking cheese, but
hold on. I like cheese. It's
what
just,
are you doing, Austin?
It's just it takes a
he
while for
doesn't
me
like
to
the
get used
stinky
to.
cheese.
All right,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh,
Actually, there is one thing.
Tell us.
I would say because Europeans don't really use AC a lot.
Oh my god.
And
we
Americans,
clash
we
about
love
this.
AC, so we need the AC.
I think that's our biggest fight of all
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like every single day because like obviously here we use a lot of AC,
Yeah.
but like at night, for example, I like to, in France we just open the windows and that's enough for us, and we don't really have that much AC, especially in apartments. But for Austin, like you don't switch on the AC, then he cannot sleep, so
It's too hot.
it's a
Especially
nightmare
here.
for both of us.
Especially here.
that's funny. I think in the UK, well, the UK doesn't really need it anyway because it's so cold, but we don't have AC, but when we do have it, we go away, my parents like hate using the AC. They're like,
right?
don't, like, this is like anything but turning on the
See,
AC.
we have something in common.
But yeah, I would say that's about it.
Yeah, well, I think that's alright.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
worse
It's
things
alright.
to
It's alright.
disagree over. And leaving behind your lives in Paris and New York and moving to the other side of the world, like coming back to pursue content creation full time, like that is a big decision. How did the idea come about?
Actually, so I remember the first time we actually brought it up. It just kind of came up in conversation as a joke. And I was in France at the time.
Yeah, we were traveling
right.
in the beach. Yeah, we were around the beach.
And then it just kind of came up as an idea, like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if we should start doing this or something like that. And even though it came up as a joke in my head, it still kind of made sense. And I was like, actually, that's not a bad idea. But then it wasn't until I think later on when we were back in Paris and Suzy was working and she was considering like a career change that we started to kind of take it more seriously. And then that's kind of like when we started to discuss more and, do some research and stuff like that.
So, I was working in fashion and my contract was coming to an end. So I had this kind of like decision, like, am I gonna continue working in fashion in Paris, or do I want, like, I've always wanted, like, since I graduated, to do something that has to come with entrepreneurship. So, and the thing is, I didn't want to wait too late. Like, I wanted to do it still at a young age. Like, I didn't want to wait until like I already have a family and you already set up and everything. So it started to get more serious at that point where I was like, if I really want to do something for myself, like, let's just do it. Now is kind of the good time, and especially doing this together as a couple. Like, I was doing marketing basically, so it came up pretty naturally that you would take care of the creativity and everything related to content, and I would take mostly the business part, the marketing part of the job.
Yeah, because I guess it's like social media is like basically a big part of marketing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And what were you doing before, Austin?
So I'm still working. My job allows me to work from home.
Oh, nice.
I work as a songwriter.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's all right. But so I'm still doing that. I'm blessed to be able to work from home and work from anywhere. So
Yeah, nice. And I guess the great thing about content creation as well is that you get to travel and you have a load of freedom to do what you want to do.
yeah, for sure.
And Was this something that you had to plan quite a bit in advance in terms of like financially? Because, you know, I see you guys like doing like amazing stuff and you know, some people might think, oh, like how do you even get to that point of being able to pursue content creation and like put your all into it?
Right. So I mean, I guess once I went back to New York and Suzy was still in France, we still had a couple of months before we actually came to Taiwan. So I would say we did have about like maybe like 4 months of preparation time where we were just researching
a lot of market research.
Like just like what kind of content we were going to be making, like how content creation works and how are we going to like make money or anything like that. Just
and what kind of content we want to do.
Right. We were just trying to prepare as much as possible, and on top of that also just preparing financially as well, because, you know, we didn't know what to expect and how things were going to go, so we wanted to be prepared as much as possible.
You for sure need to get some savings, and you cannot just jump in from a day to another. Like you need to have a backup.
Yeah. So I guess and I mean, to do something well, anything requires a lot of planning, right? And you started then making that content back in April of this year, and you've built up a following in a relatively short period of time. What would you say the biggest challenge has been when you first started out on this content creation journey?
I think the biggest challenge, and Austin can confirm, I'm pretty sure, is to be consistent. Because when you start social media, and especially when it's, you know, start from zero, scratch, you need to post every day. You need to be super consistent. You need to be therefore really like organized and schedule, you know, batch content, like what am I going to shoot this week, and here is the time that I have for editing. So I think the key point is to organize and adapt, because it's really new, you know.
Right. I think just being organized with our schedule, our time, and also just like, I think for the content, like getting into the groove of creating content every day and posting every day, and then also just, but at the same time, you know, still providing quality and value in our videos and everything.
It's a lot of work.
Right. It takes some time. That's for sure.
And who's more organized out of the two of you?
Oh, for sure, Suzy, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I think she's the one that organizes our schedule, organizes everything, and I just take care of the filming, and then that's it. And then I just do the videos.
Yeah, I'm a little freak. Not a freak, but like I tend to like, you know, like everything to be very like well organized and scheduled, and like, you know, and I like to know where I'm going.
Right. And when you started out, you must have had to experiment with different styles, different kinds of content. Right. Was there anything that you found worked particularly well or didn't work at all?
I think in terms of like content wise, like, you know, we prepared, so we knew that we were coming to Taiwan to make content about Taiwan. So topic wise, we kind of had a general idea, but then style wise, of course, you know, the good thing about starting fresh is that we could try anything, right? And then so we tried short form content, long form content, doing voiceovers, doing like lists or trends or anything,
music video, like short
stuff like that. And I feel like for us, on average, the long form content with voiceover does the best on average. I think it's because it's just more engaging to kind of like hear a story, and then people want to like
storytelling works very well.
Right, and just like knowing all the details about some place, it's just more engaging content, you know?
But at the same time, the short video also performs well. Like an example would be, we made a video about like night out itinerary, and it's basically like 3 different spots that you can go if you're looking out to like nightlife in Taipei, and that actually did pretty well, and it's a short video with music behind, right? But I think in the end, what people are interested to look at is like an information, like they want to watch your video, and basically at the end of the video they learn something, or like, you know, they get out of it with something that they learn. I mean, like, actually it's very funny if you want to tell the story behind this video.
Yeah, so the funny thing about that video is that like I had a friend visiting from New York, and I took him out, And then while we were out, that was exactly what we did that night. And I just
it's a
took
very genuine video, you know.
I took a few clips here and there, and then like the next week, like the video was at like 100K or something like that, and we put it together.
I think that just proves authenticity. That night out, Austin actually really went to the spot he would go to whenever he would go out, and I think maybe people also like the fact that it was authentic in a sort of way.
Like genuine, like that's your experience.
Right, exactly.
But I guess the longer form content, I feel like the algorithm also likes to push it a bit more. I've heard on TikTok at least.
Right. True. And like that's a whole nother thing, like kind of like understanding like Instagram and TikTok algorithm. I mean, of course we're still learning, we're still trying to figure it out, or I don't know, but it seems like the long form content does kind of work better.
It does,
do you ever, mentioning the algorithm stuff, do you ever think, like, I don't know, I see a video being like, oh, Instagram or TikTok are now pushing this kind of content. Do you ever try, like, follow along with that and then, mold your content to that, or are you just, like, making what you want?
I think if you're talking about like trends that are like kind of like popular on Instagram and TikTok, I think we do try to kind of like reshape our content to fall within a trend. Say if it's like trending music or a trending way of presenting an idea or a video or anything like that. So yeah, we have experimented with that.
I think it would be more of the music, maybe like there's a trending music, so we would use it, but the content itself would still be, us, and we'll try to like make it as authentic as possible.
But what's your favorite type of content to make?
Our favorite type, I think we enjoy all of the content that we make. I think like just because like, okay, when we're going out, we're doing things that we enjoy, we're experiencing new things together, like, and then we're filming it as well, so like everything is enjoyable. But I think in terms of like being able to be creative, I would say maybe like the fashion videos kind of like allow us to be,
because he can really play with it
a little bit more. Also, I think it's just also because like we are both interested in fashion, so it's kind of like
I love the one where it's like you pick out each other's outfits,
right, something like that. Something
we've been loving doing this.
But so like something like that.
But everything is very like enjoyable to film, like from hotels, to any food addresses. It's all like good experience also at the end of the day.
Sure.
And we've talked a bit about that consistency. You've got to really have this kind of drive when you are doing content creation. What would you say drives you both on this journey? Austin, you go first.
I think I would say kind of like, so content creation, we are essentially, building a business together, right? And I think for us, what motivates us is to be kind of like independent, be our own bosses, and to work, freely as we like. On top of that, I feel like also the opportunities that come to us, or like the collaborations, right? And just working with other brands or other people, places, anything, that also allows us to experience new things. I mean, like even like this, right? Like this kind of opportunity to come up here and talk on a podcast.
I mean, it's an amazing experience.
Right. It's very cool for us to like experience that for the first time. So yeah.
What about you, Suzy?
I think it's about like building relationships, and I think for me, since I'm taking care of the reaching out and like the relationship with our collaboration, it would be what Austin said about this, that like we want to make the best out of it in terms of experience and also in terms of the brands we're working with.
And was there a certain point in this journey when you started get more people reaching out to you wanting to like collaborate or those kinds of things?
I mean, I think it's still early for us, but like once we started to get reached out to, like, places to start wanting to work with us, it was like, oh, this is cool, right? And
and I think also, I mean, it makes sense that the more content we're building and the bigger audience we're thankfully getting, that we're getting more and more reached out.
I think I've also seen a lot of stuff on like Instagram and people basically encouraging others to like make stuff on social media, like do like content creation,
Yeah.
you don't actually have to have a huge following
No, you
to
don't.
No.
you know, get brand, like do stuff with brands or like start earning money on social media, which I
Right.
think is like a cool thing. And definitely, I mean, you guys have
Yeah.
grasped that opportunity. Are there ever any days where you wake up and you're like, oh god, I don't want to have to like film today, or any times where you're like, oh, can we just, you know, have a rest,
Have a chill day today. I mean, that's why we try to maybe batch a little. So maybe we would say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday we film, you know. So I would organize maybe an activity for us to do Monday afternoon, and Tuesday morning we're going to display. So we will try to have maybe a couple days where we shoot, and so that allows Austin then to focus on the editing and me to focus on the business, on the reach out, and on like all the business that we can work with. That's how we would do it, so that we're not like, oh no, today we don't have anything to post, we absolutely need to film something, oh, but today I don't feel like it. Like, it's normal, it's only human to not feel like it sometimes. Like, sometimes you just want to be at home and working on your stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so planning is essential.
Right.
And in terms of platforms, you guys are Instagram and TikTok
Yeah.
at the
Right.
moment. Which one, if you had to choose, Instagram or TikTok?
I mean, we would say Instagram, but it's also because in some sense, like, we feel a little closer with our community on Instagram, but not that we don't feel close with our community on TikTok. It's more that, for example, we receive messages basically every day on Instagram, and we're chatting with our audience every single day. Whereas on TikTok, it's a little harder, I would say. You know, we also post stories every day on Instagram, so people can really follow our day, like, and our journey every day. Whereas TikTok, I know you can post also stories now, but it's a little different, I would say.
Yeah, I think it's just easier to be engaged with your audience on Instagram over TikTok. But, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And will you guys, do you think, be branching into, I know you've got shorts and stuff on YouTube, but would you be branching out into like making your own YouTube videos, do you think?
We do want to, I mean, I really want to do vlogs and do more longer videos, and people have been asking us to do
I've seen as well, like, when are you gonna get do YouTube?
We do want to. I mean, I think we will get there eventually in a time. It's just that Austin has a lot to do already with all the reels and everything, but we'll definitely get there. We'll get a camera, we'll be vlogging. Maybe I'll take care of the editing of the vlogs, but we should.
Right. I think it all just comes down to timing, and then like.
And I think also the more we'll be traveling through Asia or anywhere in the world, I kind of want to also, you know, like
have the memories.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Well, I think that's a nice thing about if you do vlog as well. I mean, same with your reels though as well.
Right.
Like, it's also your own diary of stuff that you've done, places you've been, which is cool.
Exactly.
That's why I love it so much. It's almost like our journal, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes we look back on just kind of like scroll down and just like, oh, we were doing this, you know, like this was fun. Like,
Yeah, no, super cool. And where would you say most of your followers and community are based?
So, two of our biggest audiences are from Taiwan and the US. And I think just naturally, because, you know, we're in Taiwan, so a percentage of our audience is going to come from Taiwan. But I think also from the US, I think a good amount of our audience is Taiwanese American, kind of like me. And then, you know, they're also looking for what to do when they're coming back and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it only makes sense that we have a good amount also in the US, because our content is in English. So you will have like English speakers, but I think also any like foreigners like through the world that are planning to come in Taiwan, like we receive messages every day, people saying, oh, thank you, like that helped me, you know, planning my itinerary in Taiwan. So we also have a lot of foreigners, not only from the US, but
Taiwanese people who are living outside of Taiwan.
Not even Taiwanese people, like
people coming to travel
in Taiwan.
The same with this podcast, and that its top is Taiwan and then the US.
Okay,
exactly.
Cool.
And what do you think draws? Well, we've kind of covered it, but about drawing people to your content. Do you think there's something about you guys as well being a couple and people like watching that kind of content?
I do you want to answer this? I don't know. Like, I mean, I would hope so. Like, maybe, like, yeah.
Yeah, I think like we talked a little about this. So I think people that are just planning to travel in Taiwan, they will look at our reels, and it will give them an idea of like where to visit, what places to go to, and what activities you can do. Because like it's a bit of a shame that, you know, people don't know so much about Taiwan.
For sure.
Or they wouldn't know like all the activity. This country is so rich, you know. You have so many things to do, like from hiking to like the beach and the city. Like it's just super convenient. So I guess like that's what we're trying to show and showcasing in our videos.
Right.
And I mean, it's true that we also do some couple like videos or unless like date ideas. We like to do those videos where we show people like cute you know, ideas, or like any date that like if they're looking for something. Like a lot of comments were like, we started with the Mu Crown, so that's a movie theater where you can sit like pair by pair.
Right.
So it's like kind of a bed,
and
people were like, oh my god, exactly. And so people were like, oh my god, we need like more date ideas. And so now we kind of started these trends where it's like things to do and date ideas, and yeah, people have been enjoying that.
I love those series of videos.
Thank you.
I mean, it's basically just me, you know, thinking about things to do with my boyfriend, and then we're like, why don't we just show to people?
Yeah, I think, you know, you touched upon that about showcasing Taiwan, and people don't know that actually Taiwan has so much to offer.
Right.
And maybe if they're traveling to East Asia, people will go to like Japan, Korea.
Exactly.
But Taiwan's not really on the list. So I think it's great as well that you guys are making this content and letting, you know, showing people how great Taiwan is. And what would you say then the most valuable thing is that you've learned about yourself during this process?
The most valuable thing, I think one of the things that I've learned during this process is how important like communication is. And just in not only in terms of like me communicating with Suzy about like the business, our relationship, anything like that, but also just like communicating with other brands, other people, communicating ideas through content and everything like that.
I mean, for me, it's about the same thing, and especially like I've been always like how to say, comfortable with people, but I think in the professional party, it can be a little different, and I found out about myself that I'm also okay, you know, like to be social and with like within the professional party. And no, I'm like just like I've just like figured out that I'm just so happy to like build a long-term partnership with some brands and like build a long-term relationship, I would say.
Nice. And that is the end of part 1 of our interview. So thank you for listening, and stay tuned for part 2, which will be out next week. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.